my friends, so draw whatever conclusions you want about female post-nut clarity from that information. He is definitely getting a blowjob machine for Christmas. I'm an Xavier, and I'm autistic. Look, I don't tell you that because I think it makes me special or something, which I mean, arguably. But just so you'll know that I have no idea if you're laughing with me or at me, so as long as you're laughing, we're both gonna have a great time. It's always weird telling new people that I'm autistic, not because it makes them visibly uncomfortable, which I think is maybe what just happened here, but because a fair amount of the time, and I mean way more than you would imagine as the well-mannered, educated people I assume that you are, the response that I get is just, you don't look autistic. That puts me in a weird position where I kind of have like two options. I can take this opportunity to educate this person on the existence of invisible disabilities and explain that autism is a spectrum and we don't necessarily all look a certain way, but a little bit that feels like a lie. You see a kid in a corner, not knocking anybody, just pet and toy train, he's probably one of us. But also, if that person's public education has failed them thus far in life, that's not my time to shine. My second option then is just to respond to something so profoundly stupid with an equally profoundly stupid statement. And I really like that option, because it lets the other people in the room know that even the autistic girl thinks you're, I'm not gonna say the R word, dumb. So now when people look me dead in my eyes and say, you don't look autistic, I just say, you should see me brush my teeth. Now some people at this point in the interaction will stop and say to themselves, that was a fucking weird response, this bitch must have autism or something. It dies there, which is great. I don't know why that's better evidence to them that I'm autistic than me just saying, I'm autistic, but great. Now we both agree that I'm autistic. What I generally prefer though, are the people who are just unashamed to ask follow-up questions. Not because my answers are particularly funny or interesting, but just because watching the light fade from their eyes and the look of regret creep across your face as I provide you far too detailed information brings me great joy. So now we both get to be uncomfortable. And look, I'll explain so you don't have to ask, but I did warn you it's not particularly funny or interesting. So, something that's pretty common in autistic people is called masking. It's a bit like what I would imagine the invading aliens would do if they were trying to blend into the humans. We watch, and we emulate. If I binge watch too much Bridgerton, I will just deadass start speaking a fake British accent and not notice I'm doing it. I'll learn your habits, your mannerisms, your slang. It was a bit of a problem when I had a roommate with Tourette's. So yeah, we watch and we emulate. And my mom, she's a 90s mom. She chain smoked her whole pregnancy. She was pretty laissez-faire. So a lot of the watching and learning that I did was on television. And I don't know if you've ever seen a commercial for hygiene products, but they're a pretty unreliable educational resource. For example, I was probably like 16 for my mom posting a sign and was like, hey, why are you splashing so much water everywhere when you wash your face? Because I was just drenching our bathroom floor. I mean, I was like waterboarding myself every morning in the pursuit of clear skin. Like to thank Neutrogena for that. They just have so many commercials of beautiful people just doing one woman ice bucket challenges, gaslighting me into believing that's how I was supposed to rinse my face. Similarly, toothpaste commercials, very unreliable. Did you know that you don't have to crank out just a giant turd of toothpaste onto the brush? No. The reason they're using that much toothpaste is because it's a commercial. They're trying to showcase a product. But you just need a little boop dot, that's all you need. But still, into my adult life, I'm using a commercial-sized blob of toothpaste, and just foaming at the mouth. Think rabid dogs. Another thing that's pretty common in autistic people is sensory issues. My brain and body just cannot handle some types of sensory input. I get overstimulated. You know, it's a pretty intense sensory experience. Mint toothpaste. So while I'm foaming at the mouth, I am also just gagging for my life the way you have only dreamed your girlfriend would. Third thing that comes into play with me brushing my teeth, I have pretty poor dexterity in my hands. I don't know if that's the autism or my mom's chain smoking, but it means that I'm kind of bad at brushing. And I have had to resort using what I can only describe as my autism toothbrush. And it's special. See, I know when people tell me that I don't look autistic, I just tell them, you should see me brush my teeth. I don't know if you guys remember, but with COVID a while back, autism became a real hot button issue. People really didn't want the vaccine. They were afraid that the vaccine causes autism. And look, I get it. Like, if I got to pick, I also probably wouldn't want to be like me. And my mom, I mentioned, she's an argument mom, she's pretty hands-off. That's what laissez-faire means. I know autistic girl speaks French. Yeah, that's probably why, in part, I was in my 30s before I got my autism diagnosis. Also because my family doctor was just wildly inept, but we don't have time to get into that. But for me, the timing was pretty ironic. Because 2021, I get my vaccine and my booster like the second they would let me. And then in 2022, I'm diagnosed as autistic. And my mom, she's in her 60s now. And like most moms in their 60s, she spends a little bit too much time on Facebook reading conspiracy theories. So one day she pulls me aside and she's like, Mandy, how do you know it wasn't the vaccine? So I just showed her this picture from a family Christmas party from when I was little. And on one side of the picture, we've got the tree, got my siblings, my cousins, they're all playing and laughing and dancing. We're having a great time. And on the other side of the picture is me in a corner, not talking to anybody, petting a toy train. I'm Amanda Xavier, and vaccines didn't cause my autism. Thanks, Dawn.
Yeah.
Give it up one more time for Amanda
Xavier.